Welcome guys, as we continue our Give Me a Break special all about the coronavirus. Now third Wednesday, I talked to you guys about the major schools that will be closing. I mean, we talked about the schools here in Texas that are going to be closed until April 16th. And my reaction to that was, no, no, no way. Why? You're going to make up weeks. Like, this is like the second week of like spring break. Now it's going to be like the third week of spring break next week. But don't be too excited because you're going to have to make up your school days. Now the reason...
Here are the top 10 things you can do if you...
Now the reason for that is because of what's happening. It's prepare for... It's just to keep students safe. I mean, that's what the governor of Texas says. But I have some sayings to that. Like, it can't all be done. I mean, it needs to be done. I mean, I come up with a plan like to have students wear gas masks. People will be like, no, you can't do that because it's part of the dress code violation. Of course it's part of the dress code violation, but it could cut down. It could prevent accidents. But what do you think you can do at home? You need to stay home as always, monitor your systems, rest and stay hydrated, call ahead, cover your coughs and sneezes, avoid sharing personal items, use a separate bathroom, and you probably use a separate bathroom. Hopefully the schools can follow the CDC guidelines. Now most of the restaurants have closed diners, but I went to Taco Bell the other day. They don't care about the coronavirus. They didn't close the diner rooms. They didn't mandate for every item to go. But the drive-thru needs to be open, or curbside delivery. And now Joe's Crab Shack is doing delivery because of this virus. If you want to stay up to date with the coronavirus, we'll present an entire Give Me a Break. We'll present an entire Give Me a Break about the coronavirus. But I could cover all the coronavirus in about a day. I could just do this for like another week or so and it would not make a difference. But we still got more to talk about this coronavirus, like this. When we come back, we're going to talk about how gun sales are flying through the roof. And then later, also, the spelling bee is canceled. Like, why do you have to cancel the spelling bee because of the virus? What's wrong with these people? We'll talk about all that after the break. Look, you guys, here on the show, I mean, guns are bad. The reasons why is because it's a safety issue. I mean, you can't present your children with guns. I mean, and now with this virus, it's like gun sales are rising. Like, they're selling guns at the pawn shops, and people think they need to defend themselves. Like, let me tell you guys something. You may think that guns kill people. I mean, if you think that guns don't kill people, I may have a second opinion about that. I'm going to tell you right now. Guns don't kill people. It's the government that does. So let me tell you right now. Sorry, I checked the time. I am not going to look at this story like right now. gun sales are rising, like pawn shops everywhere. Why do they have to sell guns in the midst of the coronavirus? Like, the last thing to defend yourself with is a gun. Like, what you gonna do? Defend your house against the coronavirus? It's like, that is just unexpected. That is just gonna leave a mark. It's not okay to sell guns when the coronavirus has happened. Don't be selling guns. Because remember, guns don't kill people. The government does. I may think that wrong, but they've been around since 1000 AD. And now President Trump's going to pass a bill that talks about the coronavirus. It's going to help a lot of people. All right, we talked about how gun control is raising up because of the coronavirus, and we talked about the 10 tips. And when we come back, we're gonna look at a spelling bee contest that is suspended, and how they're gonna reschedule it until this, if possible. And then a bit later, we're going to talk about social distancing. Talk about all that after the break. The spelling bee brings back memories. Every time you watch the spelling bee, you get to learn how to spell and watch the other kids learn how to spell. That's not true because of the coronavirus. They're now suspending the spelling bee. Why? It's because of the coronavirus. I mean, why couldn't the kids be like 10 feet away from social distancing? We'll talk about that in a bit. But, I mean, what is the spelling bee going to do? We're going to, he'd be like, we're going to cancel this spelling bee because of what happened. Because we don't want to get kids sick. Why not just have them 10 feet apart? So that we don't have to hear any of this at all. But we're probably going to see it in May. But I'm going to tell you right now. It's the last put now. Let's move on to another topic. And then later we're going to do an update. We're going to do an update show. I mean, dining restaurants. I mean, you know where I work. Where I work, what had happened was, I work at McDonald's and the dine-in is closed because of what's happening. But right now is the biggest issue ever. It's the last push. The mayor's going to have a lot of something to say. But I'm glad it's going to happen because we don't want other people getting sick. Exactly. Alright. We're going to do okay. That's it for the coronavirus. We're going to bring you more as it develops. Right now, when we come back, it's our updates show. We're going to bring you some updates on our past topics ever since the show. I've been doing this show for 2¼ years. We're about to reach this is our 3rd season. I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years. You've been doing this show for like 3 years as the only person ever who brings you topics. It's not a rant channel. It's not scripted. I have no filter. That's fine, but my fans get that. We'll have an update show when we come back. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. I should say welcome to the update edition. Now, I've been saying to myself when I created the show that I have no filter. That's alright. I am who I am, and I ain't scripted. We're going to look at some topics that have brought my attention every time. Starting with what happened weeks ago. Now, weeks ago, I talked to you guys about a meeting that had happened back in February where Dr. David Freeman, the superintendent of the school, the superintendent of Flower Bluff, held a presentation and talk about his new program. Now that got me some grave concerns about this. Like, people were asking, like, "Ooh, is this going to raise your taxes?" It's not going to raise your taxes. But to back that up, give me a sec. To help understand it, because you have to be there. You're a journalist. You have to know what's happening, and you have to have a secret plan. My secret plan is to audio tape the meeting. No one snitched. No one knew. And part of that meeting, if you listen, this program that Freeman's going to represent has nothing to do with the tax dollars, but the cost is, when I watched the story, I was astounded. Like, $50,000 to $50,000 to $100,000. That's not bad. But if this program does not happen because of this coronavirus, it is going to be a big issue here. How big of an issue is it? Well, let me explain. We pay taxes. Some of our tax dollars go to the school. And it's from there. I mean, if you were to, like, if you look at this and thought to yourself, well, it's just going to raise your taxes, it's not going to raise your taxes. It has nothing to do with the tax rate. If you were to go up to Dr. Freeman and say, well, we have the highest tax rate in the history of South Texas, it's like, yeah. There is a lot of money being spent. But the thing is, if they decide to do this program, then it could really help the juveniles and the minors, teach the minors experience. Like, so, but my concern is, if this coronavirus keeps on going, this program's not going to happen. So, what I propose is this. If he decides to do this program, then what's going to happen with the students? Like, they got to make up weeks. So that's what's been happening. Ever since then, that's what's been happening. Now, let's move on to an episode called Spending Too Much for Your Tax Dollars. I was going to title it Spending Too Much on School Tax Dollars, but I didn't want to get the school in trouble. And because of this virus, we're going to hold off on the investigation into our how much we spend of our tax money. We'll have that for you when Dr. Freeman is ready. So, I mean, it all came to me from a show called Stupid in America, where it's a nasty title and nasty things are happening in America's public schools, and it's always about time we face up to them. It's always in so many movies. And the biggest problem is money. Kids are not learning, but school spending has raised through the roof, like more teachers, more assistant principals, etc. The line of the graph will show you, like, it goes flat. The line goes straight up more pupil per student. The graduation rate's flat, student achievement's flat, and so on. $10,000 per student. That got me amazed. Class was 25, like $250,000. So it's like spending $10,000 per kid, $15,000, $20,000, all types of money. It depends on pure pupil. If you really think about it. Now, that's probably all the update. I want to talk to you about what happened 2 weeks ago. 10 days ago, when I did a segment about, I talked about the thing that happened. Also I did, but I had a special guest on named Eric Lee, who created a Facebook group called Stop Bullying CCISD, where it's a lot of things happening. I had him on the show for one reason, be my best motivational speaker, and for an exclusive interview. I would have him on again to do this, but he might be busy, or he might have the virus. Alright. I think this week is the Selena death. Let's see. So I think in 2 weeks from now. So again, 2 weeks from now we're going to do so before I go on, I want to let you know that 2 weeks from now on Tuesday, we're going to give you a special Give Me a Break that is dedicated to the Selena Quintanilla death anniversary. And I'm going to be the first to explain to you all that happened. Because I wasn't born in 97. I was born 2 years after the murder. So I'm going to tell you what happened, the case that's been happening. I mean, let's talk about the case. The case, I mean, the stuff has not been sent into evidence because of all this crap that's been happening. But the shoes, everything was played into evidence because of all this. But they have not been presented in trial. Otherwise, now what I've done is now they have denied the trial. They have denied him giving them. They have denied giving Yolanda a new trial because of this. But the evidence is still there. The blood on the shoes, the money. That could be a lot of lifetime sentences right there, I'll tell you what. But we're going to cover all of that in 2 weeks. So look for that in 2 weeks on Tuesday. Not this Tuesday. Not this Tuesday. Next Tuesday. So we're still going with our show, but right. So that's like that was like 5 months ago. All right. I'll be back in a moment. Now our final update is all about the what happened last week. I talked about how schools were closed because of the coronavirus. I kind of flipped out saying that. I had no filter at all in this episode. Listen. I had no filter. Listen. Listen to this part.
More than be in school and get the best education that I can get.
I think this is where it started. Listen.
Never ever get the best education they can get because of you. Pouring my hand sanitizers work, but
I was like, I can stand up here in your face tell you, do not do this ever again. I was outrageous. It got like 12 views. Nobody liked it.
Where they asked you to put a damn hand sanitizer on the bus.
Actually, it began at 1:40. Listen.
We're going to extend spring break to the 23rd, 3rd. I can stand up here in your face and tell you, do not do this ever again. You don't. We have students that want to get a best education they can get, and all you're doing here is extend a fucking bang bang all over the 23rd.
After that, I thought I would have had a heart attack. I was like, I'm done forever. School district would be pissed off at me. All right. And I was like, I'm done here for now. All right. That's it. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Friday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Monday. All right. We have more of the coronavirus in the weeks ahead. Bring the results, what's going to be happening throughout next week. Anyway, that's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Friday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Monday at our regular time. Until then, follow us here on YouTube. Have a great night.